And so I hope you came expecting to have fun. We are going to do a lot of work. I'm going to cover a lot of material, and we're going to have a good time doing it. I'm running late. I'm sorry. I am on my way. The only challenge is that I don't know who it is because they didn't put their name in the text message. So we have someone on their way.
I'll stay over here for a while.
For a minute, yeah. At the end of, we will have a happy hour and get to play with each other and do some really fun and cool things. We're going to start with focusing on this intake form. And the intake form is really important, and there are 3 reasons why. Remember, I promised to help you turn up your profits. If you can master the concepts that are in this intake form as you do them for yourself, they will change your business. So we're going to go through them. The first one is, what are your significant issues? What's the problem that's going on in your business or personal life or both that you came here to find out how to solve? What's your pain? What are you struggling with? Here's your question. What wakes you up at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Doesn't get you to sleep until 3 o'clock.
Or keep you awake in Carolyn's place and tell you what, yes. Okay? So think about how they're affecting your life. That's the section over to the right. And the next one is a scale of 1 to 10, and we're going to be using scales of 1 to 10 pretty frequently. All right? So this one is on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is very bothered. How bothered are you? It's a completely subjective scale. There's no wrong answer. The next section is really just so that I know where you're coming from. What have you used in the past to deal with your issues? And this could be anything from experts that you've talked to, it could be business books that you've read, it could be dumping on your best friend. Homicide, please don't write that down because I don't want to be a witness. Okay? I don't want to be an accessory after the fact if you've gone to those extremes. But anything other than that is fair game. Okay? It can be that you've worked with other coaches, or it could be that you have worked with SCORE mentors. And it could also be that you have simply talked things out with a grief counselor or a counselor, if that, those are the things that are going on. And then we get to the fun part. So take your time with this. There's no rush. Okay, so you're 1 step ahead of me. So the first one before that is, what do you anticipate from this training? Okay, so write down what it is that you hope to gain by being here. If there's one thing that I could give you a solution for, what would it be? What do you hope to get out of the training? And after you've answered that, then you can go to the next piece, which is, if I get what I want out of the training today, what impact will that have on my life? And this is where it gets really specific. We know what your problem is. We know what you have an idea for the solution is. If we can accomplish that today, what's the benefit that you're going to get from that? And the more specific and concrete you can make it, the better. So if it is about, I'll be happier, peel that down. What's that going to look like? If it's that I'll have more money, give me a dollar figure. Okay? If I'm going to have more clients, how many more clients do you think you would have if you got the solution to what your problem is? If the answer is freedom, freedom from what? Get as specific as you can, because that's really going to help you as we go through the material today. The last section's the harder one. What's your life going to be like in 6 months if you don't change anything? If you sat here like a lump of clay today and pretended to participate, and you left here and nothing changed for you, what would your life be like in 6 months? If you stayed on the same trajectory you were on, dealing with the same 3 a.m. issue that you've been dealing with, 6 months from now, what would your life be like? And when you get down to that, then you have another scale. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is extremely motivated, how motivated are you to change? And at the very bottom is something very special. So let me know when everybody's done, and we have no more text messages, so I think we're going to be good. At the very bottom is where our sponsor is Rudd International. Lauren Rudd is the man who writes for the newspaper every week. He's a financial wizard. He teaches the continuing ed for lifelong learning. He's amazing. And what he would like to do is have all of us come and have lunch with him. So if you initial at the bottom, then you can get the email for that invitation to have lunch with Lauren Rudd.
As a group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do it as a group.
We already met them separately.
Yeah, no. This would be as a group. This would be a lunch and learn with Lauren Rudd. It is a wonderful gift for this group. Okay, so when you are finished, we will collect those and we will revisit the information later. So you can hand them in. Yeah, that's for you. For those of you who like to keep things organized, there are some magic markers on the table. And the reason for the magic markers is so you can do this on the back of your book. Now, why would this be important? Because this way someone can get this back to you without having to open it. Okay? So just FYI, use a magic marker if you so desire and label the back of the book. Yeah. That will make it easy. Yeah, there's one on each sort of general direction. So Deborah can pass hers to her left.
Okay.
And so that's my other housekeeping tip. While it's fresh in your mind, if you open to the front of your notebook, mine doesn't have it, but you've got my business card on the front. On the front page, just write down today's date on the inside. You know, as you're waiting on a magic marker, you want to pass that one. There you go. We'll get them passed around. Oh, yeah, they both ended up at this end. Anybody else need it? Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. So we'll pass it up this way and not worry about it anymore. Okay. So the topic is going to be dial down the drama and distraction, turn up the profits. And I picked this particular topic because what you all are going to get is an introduction into the world according to Jackie. And in Jackie's world, everybody's doing exactly the right thing at the right time, and they say the right thing to the right person. However, in the world outside of the world according to Jackie, that's usually not what happens. And so I realized that even if you knew what to say, because I did a workshop called Mastering the Art of the Elevator Pitch, and I've been teaching marketing for a long time, and I realized even if you know what to say, saying it to the right person at the right time, well, that's a different skill. I also taught a workshop called Confessions of a Networking Junkie. In Maryland, I created this for the Chambers of Commerce because my daytimer looked like alphabet soup, and I had really, really good mentors, taught me very good skills. So I created this workshop, and what I realized is people could have all the skills in the world, but they wouldn't necessarily be able to use them. And so while I could teach them how to handle personalities that they would run into at a networking event, I could teach them how to craft a compelling networking spiel, what I couldn't do was make them comfortable walking into the room. And so I was less effective than I wanted to be. Fast forward, by the way, for those of you who don't know me, I have been a stress management consultant for about 30 years. My company, Stress Management Services, was formed in 1994 because I needed an umbrella that would allow for all of the things that I bring to the table to fit into one pot, if you will. The place that I realized most people needed help when it came to their networking is they needed help to be comfortable in their own skin. And while I could help people find their value, I couldn't help them with the heart palpitations. So I went into more skills. And my journey led me through studying mediation, meditation, and I've worked with everyone from shaman on one end to attorneys and insurance people on the other end. And all of those skills came together, and I learned that there is a way to make this easier. So we're going to take the fast road. Are you ready? Stress intervention technique training is what I do primarily now. And what this is a very specific skill set that I train people in that resolves their negative emotional history, their hangover from any event where they did not have a voice for whatever reason to be able to deal with it effectively at the time. What this looks like in our lives is that imagine you've been cooking your entire life and you've never taken the trash out of your kitchen. That's what our relationships are like. We have all of this negative emotional history. It's like having bags of trash in our kitchen. So when you've worked through, let it go, done the forgiveness work, done the grief work, it's like you've been putting bags around the trash. It doesn't smell quite as bad, but the trash is still in the kitchen. So you go to have a new business relationship, a new personal relationship, and you cook up this really tasty meal. You serve it in your dining room, which is completely pristine, but you can still smell the trash from the kitchen. So the stress intervention technique training, the techniques teach how to take out the trash strategically. And nobody ever has to open the bag and tell me what's inside. So that's why people know I wear the badge that says no talk, no drama, because it's about not having to tell me what's in the bags of trash. One of the pieces of the stress intervention training is the ability to change your emotional state, to go into a place feeling the way you want to feel. What would it be worth to you if you could walk into a networking event feeling confident, feeling relaxed? What would it be worth to your business if you could focus? So distraction and drama is what we're going to deal with next. And I am going to walk you through an exercise that is going to give you the ability to relax at will. Okay? For this exercise, you're going to take 3 deep breaths. You're going to allow your eyes to close if you're comfortable, or just soften your gaze and stare down at the table. And don't worry, if you fall asleep, we'll wake you up. So allowing your eyes to close and allowing your breathing to deepen and slow. And as you breathe deeply and slowly, we're going to stop and pause for just a minute because we have someone who just walked in. So your timing is perfect. Cool. Come on.